Why does your dog eat grass when it makes them throw up? You might think the answer has to do with their digestion, but it turns out that's only partly true. Instead, according to the new research by some of the world's leading experts in veterinarian health at Princeton, Stanford, and UC Davis, if your dog ever eats grass or even tries to eat poop from other animals, it's a major warning sign that something is wrong deep inside their bodies. And it has to do with a hidden enemy lurking in the very food they're consuming right now. It's the #1 cause of health problems in dogs of all ages and breeds, causing their allergies to flare up, their joint pain to rage, and their fur to fall out, giving them rashes and patchy skin, making dogs more anxious or aggressive, sucking away their energy, and destroying their digestion, little by little and day by day. Every dog shows the signs of this hidden nutritional deficiency differently, and there are hundreds of ways it can manifest. Yet tragically, the end result is always the same: your dog living fewer healthy years than he or she should. But it doesn't have to be this way, because even though this devastating nutritional deficiency is ignored by almost all veterinarians and can't be fixed by dog food or supplements, there's an easy solution, and it comes back to the grass your dog loves to eat, and the driving force behind your dog's appetite for juicy slabs of uncooked bacon. In fact, this startling and simple mealtime grass and bacon trick can be used immediately by any dog owner to restore their pet's health from head to paw. It's something that works no matter if your dog is 2 years old, 5 years old, or 14 years old, and regardless of their breed. And it can give any dog strong joints and better mobility, so they can walk, run, and play without pain. It fixes their digestion, helping them have regular, solid poops. And it makes their fur so soft and shiny, you'll never want to stop rubbing their belly. Best of all, this health restoring grass and bacon trick could add years to your dog's life. And once your dog tries this, they'll be bounding around the yard with their tongue flapping around, both looking and acting like an 8-month-old puppy, racing up the stairs with endless energy, and jumping into bed with you without any pain. Even better, thanks to this counterintuitive trick, you'll have total peace of mind knowing your dog's life will have increased longevity and be filled with happiness, and that they'll be by your side for many, many years, providing comfort, joy, and love. This powerful, health-restoring grass and bacon trick has absolutely nothing to do with raw dog food or expensive supplements, or spending a single dollar on the vet or having your dog undergo surgery. Instead, it's based on a very important difference between how a dog's body functions and how a human's body does. And while it's not at all complicated, this difference is something that virtually all vets, dog food companies, and so-called experts completely ignore, which is tragic because it's led to countless dogs dying before their time. As their bodies break down, their energy fades away, and they become a shell of the loving and energy-filled pups they once were. It doesn't have to be that way though. And in this video, you're gonna see how this easy, health-restoring grass and bacon trick can reset the clock for older dogs, while ensuring that younger, healthier dogs stay that way for years and years to come. It works for all dogs of all ages, all breeds, no matter how healthy or unhealthy your pup is right now. And personally, I couldn't believe just how much this helped my dog Max, how it reignited his energy and made his joints as good as new, helping him go from this to this. I'm now completely convinced of its power. And to date, this simple trick has now been used by over 42,967 humans to help their furry best friends. Like Ashley in Arizona, who says,
I love my Labradoodle Gretchen more than anything in this world, which is why it was breaking my heart into pieces watching her getting older right before my eyes. I tried everything, including cooking all her meals from scratch, using really healthy food, but nothing worked until I discovered this. Now her digestion is back to normal, her breath doesn't stink anymore, and she goes regularly with no constipation or accidents like we used to have. I'm so happy to have my best friend back.
And Paul from Kansas, who shares,
I have a French bulldog, and it was so hard when his joints started to cause him problems. He gave up trying to go up the stairs, and I couldn't walk him anymore. Our vet said this was just part of getting older, and there was nothing I could do other than give him pills. But now, he's like a new dog. He runs around the dog park, having the time of his life with the other dogs. He's able to go for brisk walks, and his energy is back to how it used to be. Most importantly, he's happy again.
So if your dog seems to be in pain right now and has resorted to eating grass more and more often, and you can't figure out why, or their anxiety levels have been increasing lately, or their fur isn't as shiny or as soft as it once was, or they're constantly itching and gnawing at their skin and licking their paws, it's probably a sign that something is deeply wrong inside their bodies. And today, I'm gonna show you how to fix that forever. So please watch this video to the very end while it's still available, because this information could save your dog's life. Hey, it's John Goodwin here. I live outside Denver, Colorado with my beautiful wife, our young daughter, and our beloved golden retriever Max. Max had always been your typical lovable golden, playful, sweet, and friendly. Every morning as I walked down the stairs, I'd find him eagerly waiting, his tail wagging excitedly. We'd snuggle for a while as I told him over and over again what a good buddy he was. A morning ritual that we both looked forward to. And wherever we went, Max had a way of lighting up the room, capturing everyone's hearts and attention. When kids approached to pet him, his eyes gleamed with joy, and nothing seemed to make him happier than chasing after a frisbee, sprinting around with boundless energy, his tail wagging nonstop. We'd shared 1,000 memories, and I cherished them all. But as Max turned 6, I couldn't help but notice some changes. It was subtle at first, but I could sense that something was wrong. He was sleeping more than he used to. His coat wasn't as full or shiny as it once was, and he was throwing up more often, especially an hour or so after he ate. I thought it was just part of Max getting older. Max went from being full of energy and always wanting to play to just sleeping all day long. When we'd take him on a walk, we'd only make it a block or two before he'd just surrender to the fatigue. Or he'd become anxious and less playful, and we were not sure why. But the scariest thing was when his appetite started to disappear. He would barely touch his food, and even when he did, he'd either throw it up, like I mentioned a moment ago, or he would have these messy accidents inside the house. Now, of course, dogs get older, and I didn't expect Max to always have the energy of a puppy, but he was only 6 years old and already behaving like a dog twice his age. His boundless energy had faded, replaced by fatigue that weighed him down. His once bright eyes were now dull and cloudy. His enthusiastic tail wags were now half-hearted and slow, and I couldn't bear the thought of him getting any worse. So I tried everything I could think of to help Max get better. I bought him the most expensive dog food money could buy. I gave him countless supplements and medications. I'd even massage his joints whenever I could, while my wife tried home cooking all his meals with the highest quality human food. Soon, we were spending more money on Max's meals than our own, but nothing worked. He was getting worse with every passing day, and it scared the life out of me. Of course, I took Max to the vet. In fact, I didn't even just take him to one vet. I took him to 5 different vets. The best of the best. 3 of them located in different cities, and each with hundreds of 5-star reviews and sought-after expertise. But still, none of them could offer a real solution. All they suggested were expensive specialty dog foods, costly medications, and a battery of tests that ultimately revealed nothing. But I couldn't just give up on Max. It was never an option. He wasn't just a pet, he was a member of our family. And witnessing my daughter's heartache as she tried to understand his pain broke me to the core. And even though I'm sure they meant well, I couldn't shake this sneaking suspicion that these vets were more interested in charging my credit card than they were actually helping Max. Moreover, the look of fear and confusion in Max's eyes each time we entered yet another unfamiliar clinic shattered my heart. Poor Max couldn't comprehend why we were subjecting him to this never-ending cycle of examinations and tests, and it tore me up inside to see him go through it all. I wish I could have explained that I was trying to help him, but I couldn't. I just hated it. And if you've ever been there, I'm sure you can agree, it's the worst feeling. To be completely helpless, unable to bring any relief to your best friend, while the bills rack up. It sucks, I know. But I also know now that it doesn't have to be that way. Because as soon as you begin to use the health-restoring grass and bacon trick that I'll be sharing with you today, everything, and I mean everything, will change for you and your dog. Just watch as their once dull and lifeless coat regains its lustrous shine, skin issues and allergies subside, and their anxiousness transforms into a calm and content demeanor. It's like you've turned back the clock on your dog's health by years. Their joints no longer ache, and their mobility and playfulness returns. And it fills you with an overwhelming sense of pride, because you know that you've done everything in your power to provide your beloved companion with the best quality of life possible. And to understand why and how this works, let me quickly explain what happened next with Max. That way you can see how I even discovered this grass and bacon trick in the first place. See, Max's health continued to plummet. His once lush, shiny fur began to fall out in distressing clumps, leaving bald patches that made him look miserable and unwell. Friends who came to visit would gasp and ask with genuine concern, what happened to Max? Even as we took him for walks, other dog owners would cast worried glances our way, their expressions a mix of pity and fear. He got alarmingly skinny and could barely stomach any of his food. It felt like our once vibrant, playful Max was slowly fading away right before our eyes. One of the vets had the audacity to suggest that I should consider putting Max down. The mere thought of it made my blood boil. How could anyone even dare to propose such a thing? Max was still young and should have been the picture of health. The idea of giving up on him like that was unthinkable. I felt helpless and ashamed, full of guilt that this was somehow my fault. But the worst part was the toll it took on my daughter. As Max grew weaker, she became more anxious and depressed. I still remember one day when we were sitting on the porch with Max and she asked, "Daddy, is Max gonna die?" It was like being stabbed in the gut, and I had to tell my daughter the truth. "Max might not be with us for much longer, sweetie. He's very sick." She went silent for a moment. I was expecting her to burst into tears, but instead, she looked up at me with glassy eyes, her face a mixture of determination and heartache, and said, "Daddy, before he dies, can we take Max on a doggy vacation?" Doggy vacation? I had no idea what she was talking about, but apparently she had seen it on some TV show. And I'll be honest, at first, the idea felt a little silly, but since I had some time off work and I had some friends who kept telling me that I had an open invite to stay in their cabin up in the mountains, I started to give it some thought. I mean, I could use the break, and Max did always love being in nature. So I said, what the heck, let's go. And the following weekend, our whole family, including Max, packed up and headed to the mountains. As soon as we arrived, it felt like heaven. I mean, the whole area was more picturesque than I could imagine. It was very secluded because the cabin sat at the end of this huge, sprawling, wild meadow with no other cabins or houses within miles of us. It was the perfect spot to spend a final week with our faithful friend. But as soon as we arrived, something strange happened. Max limped out the car, sniffed the ground once, and started wandering out to the beautiful meadow with tall grass that was next to the cabin. And then he immediately began chewing on the long grass, like it was the tastiest thing he'd ever seen. It shocked me, because Max's appetite had been down for months, and he hadn't cleared his plate in what felt like forever. Yet here he was, ravenously eating the grass. And when I tried to get him to stop, he just dug his paws into the ground. Eventually, I had to literally drag him away from it. It was really bizarre. But what's even more weird is what happened the next morning. See, normally Max was super grumpy and lethargic when he woke up. Yet, when he saw my daughter and me that morning, he came over to us and was really affectionate, wagging his tail and wanting his tummy rub nonstop. He even ate a bigger breakfast than normal, and he seemed to have more energy. When I let Max outside so he could use the bathroom, right away he wandered back over to that meadow and went back to eating that dang grass. Again, it just struck me as odd. I tried my best to keep Max from eating that grass, but the moment I turned away for a second, he'd sneak back out there, munching on more grass as if it were a delicious treat. And the last thing I wanted was for Max to throw up all over the house or inside the car. But oddly enough, with each passing day we spent at the cabin, Max's energy levels seemed to be steadily increasing. He was running around more, with his worn down joints bothering him less. He was constantly with my daughter, wagging his tail, and his fur even felt softer than it had in a long time. Seeing Max so active and energetic filled my heart with joy, especially as I watched my daughter's face light up every time he'd run to get the frisbee. But at the same time, I couldn't help but feel a nagging confusion. What was going on? Was it the mountain air? Or could it have been, I don't know, the grass? It seemed like a crazy idea for sure. But then it dawned on me. Dogs eat grass all the time, right? Then they usually throw up. But Max hadn't thrown up once, and he was eating a lot of grass. So why would this grass be any different? I couldn't deny that Max's health seemed a lot better, and there had to be some reason. Well, I put all that into the back of my mind. I didn't want to get my hopes up, but little did I know that the next day, everything was gonna change. See, on our last day up at the cabin, I took Max out for a walk along the meadow and saw something I wasn't expecting. There was another man standing out in the field, and I could see he had a dog with him, a black Labrador that kept jumping in and out of the tall grass. Considering we hadn't seen anyone in days, I was pretty surprised, but the man just waved at us. "Hope I'm not interrupting. It's just that my dog loves it out here," he said. And he introduced himself as Dave. We started chatting, and Dave told me that he was a vet who ran a practice near Fort Collins, but that every time he was in this area, he'd bring his dog up to the meadow to run around and play. It was one of his favorite places, and he said he'd been doing it for years. But what really shocked me was when Dave said that his lab was 16 years old. That was crazy to me, because his dog was running around and playing like a puppy the whole time we chatted. And so, after a few more minutes of small talk, I asked Dave the question I really wanted to know the answer to. How is your dog in such good shape? Because my dog's only 6, and he hasn't moved like that in years. Dave flashed me a sympathetic smile. He said he'd seen tens of thousands of dogs over his decades-long career as a vet, and it always broke his heart to see dogs who got old before their time, or who suffered from avoidable health problems. Then Dave reached down and took a handful of the grass from the meadow. And he said that he believed this grass actually held a clue as to why his dog was so healthy, despite being 16 years old. Well, that really got my attention, especially since I'd seen how obsessed Max was with this grass. So I asked Dave to explain what it was about the grass that made it so special. At first he laughed and said, "How much time do you have?" But then Dave went on to explain that when he took his own dog out to this meadow several years ago, his dog had gone right to the grass too. And that, just like me, Dave had noticed that when his dog ate this grass, he had more energy. At first, Dave said he thought it was just a coincidence. But as he kept bringing his dog up there, it seemed to keep happening. And the more time his dog spent in the meadow eating the grass, the better he seemed to do. So I know it'll sound crazy, but I actually went ahead and had this grass analyzed in a lab. And it turns out that it's not actually the grass itself that's so special. It was something concealed deep within the grass, a unique and elusive attribute that sets it apart from the grass you'd find in your own backyard or the local park. This hidden component inside the grass is what truly holds the key to unlocking its incredible potential. It's something you'll never find in any pet food, doggy supplements, or even in most human foods for that matter. But I believe it has the power to heal almost any dog, helping them to live many more high-quality years and giving them the fur, joints, digestion, and energy of a younger pup too. Dave explained it to me like this. He said that just like with humans, almost 99% of dogs' problems come down to their guts. And this includes obvious stuff like messy poops or bad gas. But also less obvious health issues like itchy skin or red patches, allergies, heavy shedding, anxiety, bad breath, sore joints, and even excessive paw licking or constant gnawing. Vets know this because gastrointestinal problems are the #1 reason why people go to see them. But they'll rarely talk about your dog's gut health when you visit them. Unless, of course, they're pushing some expensive anti-inflammatory doggy medicine on you. At the very most, your vet might recommend a certain brand of dog food, or maybe they'll pitch you on a dog supplement that their office happens to carry. He told me, usually those expensive dog foods or supplements make no difference to their gut, or worse yet, destroy your dog's health. And that's because they're missing something crucial. Is it probiotics? I asked Dave, thinking that I was probably right. But he told me, no, not exactly. Probiotics are like 10% of the answer, if that, he said. And that's because while at this point pretty much everyone has heard of probiotics, what nobody ever mentions, including most vets, is their digestive system is like 1,000 times more acidic, which helps them break down and process a variety of foods, including raw meats that we humans can't easily digest. Dogs also have a different gut microbiome, one that's better suited to digest protein and meat like their ancestors. So while probiotics are enough for humans, for a dog to be truly healthy, there are actually 5 major types of healthy bacteria that all need to be present in their gut. And only one of those is probiotics. Dave explained that the reason dogs require a wider range of bacteria in their guts compared to humans is primarily due to evolutionary factors. Over time, humans have evolved to break down cooked foods, which are easier to digest. Whereas dogs, the descendants of wolves, evolved to eat raw foods. For example, whole animals, raw organs, bones, and cartilage, and even the contents of its prey's stomach, like partially digested nuts, seeds, and dirt-covered roots and vegetables. So dogs need these 5 types of bacteria to digest their food, even today. Bottom line, a dog's natural diet has always been just fundamentally different from ours on every level. Dave told me, and as a result, the kind of bacteria their guts need to break down and digest meals are very different too. And when they don't get those bacteria in their diets, which very few modern dogs do, it's the source of virtually all of their health problems. Why? Because without these 5 types of bacteria, which are impossible for dogs to get today through kibble or even wet foods, they simply can't break down their food and get the nutrients their bodies need to stay healthy. And this causes their health to deteriorate, leading to these nutritional deficiencies, where their immune systems become weak, they have allergies, their skin gets rashes, their breath stinks, they've got anxiety or become aggressive, their joints become brittle and worn down, and sadly, they die too young. And yet, while a few places like Harvard, Princeton, and UC Davis have published research about this, everything that I've shared is routinely ignored by most pet food manufacturers and pet supplement companies, because it's easier to just add some probiotics into their formula and say, supports gut health on the label, than it is to actually spend a fortune to add bacteria strains that humans haven't even heard of to their products. And even if you do give your dog a raw food diet, it's processed, packaged, stored, destroying the 5 types of bacteria, and falls short of what a wolf gets from the wild. And the same goes for human food that you give your dog too. Remember, even though some companies add probiotics to their dog foods or try to sell you a pet probiotic supplement, probiotics are just one of the 5 different types of good bacteria that they need to have in their diets. And without those 4 other types of healthy bacteria, your dog is going to suffer. Now, I gotta say, I was pretty surprised by what Dave was telling me, but I was also a bit confused, because what the heck did all this have to do with the grass in this meadow, or my dog Max? So I asked Dave if he could help me understand, and he said that when he'd had the grass in this meadow analyzed, he'd been shocked to find that it contained all 5 of the healthy bacteria types that dogs need to thrive, and he believed that's why his dog always had so much more energy and seemed so much healthier after eating it, even though he was 16 years old. Dave said that this was probably why my dog Max was responding so positively to the grass too. Some of these bacteria strains come from the grass itself, since, believe it or not, grass can be a great source of probiotics. Dave told me, but they also probably come from the berries and nuts that fall into the soil and decompose. You mean like fermented foods, I asked? Exactly, Dave said. In fact, according to Harvard, fermented fruits are one of the best sources of healthy gut bacteria, and nuts and seeds are great prebiotics. But it's more than that. There are other things in there too. For example, decomposing animals and even animal droppings get absorbed into the soil here too. I know it sounds gross, but honestly, it's just one of those perfect accidents of nature. In other words, this grass is getting all the nutrients a wolf would get in the wild, along with the 5 types of bacteria they need to thrive. And while there could be a similar situation in other meadows or fields or whatever, all I know is that I've compared samples from this meadow to several other types of grass from all over the US, and no other grass comes close to having all 5 types of these good bacteria that dogs need. Then Dave went on to explain exactly what each of the 5 healthy bacteria strains our dogs need in their diets are. You see, in addition to the familiar probiotic bacteria, your dog's guts require a unique and essential type of bacteria called firmicutes. These mighty microorganisms play a crucial role in maintaining your dog's overall health. Found in the natural grass elements, firmicutes work tirelessly within your dog's gut to produce vital vitamins necessary for a healthy, shiny coat and a robust immune system. But that's not all. These extraordinary bacteria also generate short-chain fatty acids, which significantly improve your dog's digestion, helping them have regular bowel movements and less diarrhea. Dave highlighted that there's substantial scientific evidence indicating that low levels of firmicutes in a dog's gut can lead to a wide range of gut diseases. And what's really interesting is that studies show that dogs fed primarily a raw food diet have low levels of this particular bacteria. It's just another example of why switching your dog to a raw food diet is just not the answer. Dave proceeded to introduce me to another remarkable type of healthy bacteria called fusobacteria, which plays a critical role in maintaining your dog's gut health. He explained that fusobacteria reside in the lower intestines of dogs and protects against the growth of harmful bacteria. This defense mechanism is vital for your dog's well-being, Dave emphasized. He went on to say that even if your dog's diet is abundant in good probiotic bacteria, it won't make a significant impact if their gut is already teeming with bad bacteria. In such cases, the good and bad bacteria essentially negate each other's effects. Dave said that fusobacteria kills off the bad bacteria by preventing them from reproducing, which creates more room for healthy bacteria to grow. And interestingly, Dave told me that fusobacteria levels are higher in domesticated dogs who are outside more, which he said makes sense, since those dogs are probably eating more grass, digging up dirt-covered roots, or even eating droppings from wild animals. And Dave said there had also been tons of studies where scientists found that low levels of fusobacteria in a dog's gut were directly linked to joint pain, limping, and poor mobility. That's because, according to researchers in Canada, fusobacteria is a potent anti-inflammatory. Dave then introduced the crucial role of proteobacteria in your dog's gut health. He explained that proteobacteria function similarly to fusobacteria. They both work to crowd out and eliminate harmful bacteria. The primary difference is that while fusobacteria are responsible for maintaining a healthy balance in the small intestine, proteobacteria focuses on your dog's colon. According to Dave, this is extremely important for your dog's well-being, since the colon is responsible for absorbing water and minerals. He emphasized that a lack of proteobacteria in your dog's colon can result in a significant decrease in their energy levels due to dehydration. Finally, Dave highlighted the importance of another beneficial bacteria called Pawbiotix. These microorganisms play a crucial role in breaking down and absorbing dietary fats, which can help overweight dogs shed excess pounds. They're also responsible for producing high levels of vitamin B12, which helps boost your dog's energy and helps regulate anxiety and aggression. Dave pointed out that dogs can't obtain B12 from their food or supplements because their stomach acid actually destroys it. So it has to be produced within their guts, which is only possible if there is an adequate presence of Pawbiotix. Now, as Dave finished sharing all of this with me, my mind was racing with a million thoughts and feelings. On the one hand, I felt angry that nobody had ever told me about these 5 bacteria types before, even though I'd seen numerous vets and spent thousands of dollars on my dog Max just in this year. But I also felt hopeful for the first time in a long time, because if what Dave was saying was true, then maybe, just maybe, it meant there was something I could do still to help Max. So can't someone just make a dog food or probiotic supplement for dogs that has all 5 of these bacteria types in it then? I asked Dave. And while I was hoping that he would say yes, and that doing so would be easy, Dave just looked at me sadly and told me that it wasn't nearly that simple. Probiotics are easy to source. They're in lots of foods. They're grown in labs. It's not a big deal. Dave told me, but for these other bacteria strains I just mentioned to you, it's a whole different story. And that's because since a dog's guts need these types of bacteria, but human guts don't, there are no labs or food companies that grow them, and nobody's working on figuring out how to add them into dog food. And it's difficult to do too, because if you get the type of bacteria wrong, it can wreck their health. In the wild, this isn't really a risk because the prey that dogs eat have just diverse diets, that there's sort of a natural balance. But it would be really hard to repeat that in a lab or even in your kitchen. But hey, Dave concluded, a sad smile visible on his face, at least we've got this grass. For a moment, I felt defeated. But looking out across the meadow at Max as he rolled around in the grass, soaking in the sun, his tail wagging, something else came over me entirely. It was a feeling of determination, because if there was even the slightest chance that I could find a way to help my dog get back to his healthy, energy-filled self, or save him from an early death, I had to do it. For Max, for my daughter, and frankly, even for me. And so I asked Dave again if there was anything he could do to help me. And while it was obvious he thought I was a bit crazy, he told me to give him my phone number and email address. He would introduce me to some of the researchers and chemists he'd met over the years at various veterinarian conferences, along with a food scientist he knew who focused on creating nutritional formulas for sick dogs. Don't get your hopes up though, Dave told me. I don't know if they'll be able to help, and even if they can, you're looking at spending a lot of time and a ton of money on this project, with no guarantee that anything will come from it. I told Dave that I appreciated his warning, but this was something I just had to do. And a few days later, when I checked my email, I saw that, true to his word, Dave had sent me several introductions to people that he thought might be able to help. After that, the next 5 months were a whirlwind of emails, phone calls, laboratory visits, and me sending out money. As I talked to folks in scientific laboratories all over the US, explaining exactly what I was trying to do, and asking for their help figuring out how to get these 5 essential types of bacteria into my dog's diet. The good news was that pretty early on, I found out that there was a decent list of food options that promoted the growth of these healthy bacteria in the gut. For example, when it comes to firmicutes, foods like apples, garlic, onions, and Jerusalem artichokes help increase firmicute levels in the guts. While when it comes to fusobacteria, chicken liver, cottage cheese, and bananas can help these bacteria grow. The bad news, though, was that all the experts I had talked to made it abundantly clear to me that just because those foods might help these bacteria types to grow in humans, that didn't mean they would have the same effect for dogs. And even more discouragingly, they reminded me again and again that getting the right amounts of these different bacteria types was crucially important, because otherwise a dog's gut could become out of balance and their health problems would only grow worse. This meant simply changing up Max's diet by feeding him bacteria-supported foods wasn't going to be an option. And because of that, and based on the advice of all these experts, we decided to test out a bacon-flavored liquid tincture that had both dog-specific and grass-derived strains of probiotic bacteria. We also integrated extracts from an expertly curated assortment of dog-friendly foods, specifically chosen for their ability to promote and nurture the growth of the exact types of bacteria that dogs need to thrive, all scientifically proven to support the growth of each of the 4 other bacteria types a dog's gut needs. We included chicory root extract and flaxseed powder, since both of those had been shown to help support growth of firmicutes in dogs, grass-fed beef liver extract to help with the growth of fusobacteria and proteobacteria, hydrolyzed cod collagen from wild-caught Atlantic cod, since research showed that it could increase levels of proteobacteria in your dog's gut, organic kelp and organic chlorella powder to help promote the growth of Bacteroidetes. And then we also added a highly purified form of chlorophyll called sodium copper chlorophyllin, along with a special type of probiotic called Bacillus coagulans, since multiple scientific studies had found that both those ingredients were essential for balancing all 5 strains of healthy bacteria in the gut. I gotta tell you, Dave had been right to warn me that this would be a big undertaking. I'd spent at least 100 hours on phone calls, sent easily 2,300 emails, and wired tens of thousands of dollars to different chemists and food scientists. Money I'd scraped together from my savings and retirement accounts, and by taking out a second mortgage on my house. It was one of the most stressful but exciting times in my entire life. But finally, after nearly 5 months, we had a formula that we were ready to test on Max. And it wasn't a moment too soon either, because since leaving the meadow, Max's health had once again gone off a cliff. He was barely eating. He'd just lay in his dog bed all morning and all night. I knew Max was dying, and my daughter, she knew it too. The worry and sadness in her eyes was a painful reminder that this was my only chance to save him. So the very first afternoon that our prototype was finished, I immediately put a few drops of the liquid we'd created on top of Max's food and called him over. Honestly, I was really worried that Max wouldn't be interested in eating it, but I guess he really liked the bacon flavoring that we'd added, because after sniffing at his food for a few moments, Max dug right in, finishing his whole bowl in under a minute. That was amazing to see because, like I said, Max had hardly been eating at all. But to my surprise, not only did Max not throw up afterwards, but when I took him out the evening before bed, he trotted over to his corner in the yard and pooped right away. And it was the least messy, most well-formed bowel movement I'd seen from Max in months. Obviously, this was great to see. But of course, I knew it all could have just been a coincidence. It would take more time to know for certain what kind of difference these drops would really make for Max. So all I could do was keep going, each day adjusting the doses, trying to hit the sweet spot that the meadow contained, and watching to see how Max responded. At the end of the first week, Max did seem a bit better, though it was mostly little things, like how his appetite had returned, or the way he was wagging his tail more, or spending more time with our family in the evenings, instead of slinking away to his dog bed to lay there lethargically. But as 1 week turned into 2, and then 3, our whole family watched in amazement as Max's health began to transform right in front of our eyes. The constant shedding, it was gone, and his coat seemed thicker and fuller than it had since he was a 2-month-old pup. And meanwhile, the red rashes he'd been getting on his belly for over a year vanished too. We also noticed that Max's breath became significantly better, and just from the way he was wagging his tail and following me around the house, I could tell that Max was finally becoming comfortable inside his body again, after over a year of suffering. It was like the dog we loved was coming back to life. And as 1 month, turned into 2 months, it was simply amazing to see how much more energy Max had. He started coming up to me each evening, wagging his tail and then leading me over to where we keep his leash because he wanted to go on a walk. He started bringing me his favorite tennis ball again, begging me to play fetch. It was obvious that his joints weren't bothering him anymore. His poops were more solid and consistent. There was no more vomiting. Honestly, it was as if he'd gone through a time machine. So I kept adding a few drops to his meals. And the longer he used it, the more Max's health transformed. When I woke up in the morning, Max would be waiting at the bottom of the stairs for me, wagging his tails and with a toy in his mouth, eager to start the day together. His energy levels were through the roof, and it was incredible to see him so full of life once again. We'd go to the dog park, and Max would spend hours playing with other dogs, chasing balls, and engaging in friendly wrestling matches. His anxiety had vanished, and Max no longer barked or got aggressive when packages were being delivered to our house. Instead, he'd greet the delivery person with a wagging tail, showcasing his newfound calm and friendly demeanor. Max was back, and it felt like he was healthier and happier than ever. And the only person happier than me about all of this was my daughter. She even started making this sweet little joke about how heaven would have to wait for its next angel, because it was clear Max was going to be with us for a long, long time. And after seeing all of these changes in our beloved dog, I knew I had to tell Dave, since if it hadn't been for our chance encounter in that meadow, then none of this would have been possible. Well, of course, Dave was so happy to hear how Max was doing. And he also asked if I could send some bottles of these drops to him as well. That way, he could try them out with his own dog and even share them with some of the patients at his veterinarian clinic. That was fine by me. So I sent several bottles to Dave. And when he called me back a few weeks later, he was just gushing about the results that his dog and other dogs were seeing with this formula. And he even started referring to this formula as my little health restoring grass and bacon trick. Because dogs love the flavor so much, it was almost like we were tricking them into devouring a super healthy superfood without them realizing it. Looks like I won't have to go up to that dang meadow anymore, Dave said with a laugh. And Dave also told me that he'd given out this formula to a few dozen patients at his veterinarian clinic. The results had been nothing short of miraculous. People keep saying it's bringing their dogs back to life, Dave told me. And when I'm checking their dog's vitals and doing blood work, I can see why. Every single marker for the dogs who are using this formula is exceptional. Congratulations, my friend. You've done something really special. Well, hearing that from Dave, it made me feel really good. But the best part was knowing that what I'd been able to create was helping those dogs to feel better and to probably even live longer, healthier lives too. I was so excited for them and so thrilled for their owners. And as more and more folks began sharing this health restoring grass and bacon trick with their dogs, the response we got was just overwhelming. For example, one woman named Laura shared,
"I was terrified as my German Shepherd was getting older. He was always such an intelligent dog and loved to play games and have his mind stimulated, but his back legs were in tremendous pain as he got older. He became very difficult to manage. He would growl at the neighbors and bark all night long. But once we got this formula, the difference was amazing. After just 4 months, his energy was higher, his joints weren't causing him pain, and I could take him on walks again. He was happier and obedient, and now I can take him everywhere, and he's by my side all day long."
And Sean, who says,
So I have 2 Pomeranians, and I was worried sick about them. They were limping around, and I took them to the vet, and he said they might need surgery, which I just couldn't afford. But since I started adding this formula, they're acting like their old selves again. They're running around like puppies, playing with the other dogs, and they couldn't be happier.
While Julie says,
"I have been shocked at how well these work. My Yorkie Benji is a very picky eater, but he loves the way these drops taste. And he's so much sweeter and calmer since I started adding them to his meals. He used to always chew and gnaw on my daughter's plastic toys, but that has stopped entirely. And we've been using this formula for about 5 months now, and we couldn't be happier. So not only did it save my dog, it has saved my sanity as well. So thank you."
I love hearing stories like these. And at this point, I knew that I needed to figure out a way to get these health restoring bacon flavored drops to every dog owner who needed them. Because no matter if your dog is 2 years old or 12 years old, you will be amazed by what happens once they start getting all 5 of the healthy bacteria types they need into their diets. So I found a state-of-the-art pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility right here in Colorado that I could partner with. That way we could begin making more of these drops and I could get them out to more folks. And what's really cool is that based on their suggestions, we found a way to make these bacon flavored drops even better by adding in some additional superfood extracts for dogs, like turmeric root extract and L-glutamine, both of which can soothe inflamed joints and relieve aches and pains in dogs. Along with PEA, which is an extract made from animal fat that has been shown to bind to the cells in the bodies of dogs to reduce pain and swelling. And fennel seed extract, which can help your dog's natural production of all 5 types of healthy bacteria. And now, I couldn't be more excited or proud to share this pet-saving creation with you. It's called Pawbiotix, and it's the only nutritional formula on Earth designed to help your dog have optimal and balanced levels of all 5 healthy bacteria types their guts need to thrive. Once you start using this treatment with your dog, which is as easy as adding a few drops to every meal, you'll be amazed at how quickly and easily you can put an end to their rashes, shedding, messy bowel movements, allergies, and achy joints. And you're gonna feel so good knowing that you're giving your dog the vital nutrition that's required for them to live the longest and healthiest life possible. Right away, from the very first drops, you'll notice a huge difference in your dog. You'll see an uptick in their energy. They'll want to play more and be more affectionate. They'll go to the bathroom more regularly, and their poops will no longer be messy. They'll have an easier time moving around, getting up and down stairs, and jumping onto the couch. And they'll be better behaved, jumping up less and responding more to your commands. Best of all, you will feel an incredible sense of peace seeing your dog happy and content. Just imagine the comfort of knowing that your furry companion is protected and healthy, free from worries and health concerns. All of this is possible for you and your dog. And because this formula is bacon flavored, your dog will absolutely love how it tastes and will not be able to get enough. Even folks with dogs who are incredibly picky eaters have been shocked by how much their pups love this. And every ingredient is tested and certified for purity by third-party labs to ensure the highest quality, which means that this premium formula is free from toxins, chemicals, heavy metals, and anything else that could harm your dog. Instead, it uses only the safest and purest ingredients because your dog deserves only the best. This health restoring breakthrough is made right here in the USA in a state-of-the-art facility that follows all of the rules set by the FDA and adheres to all good manufacturing processes, GMPs. There really is nothing else like this in existence, which is why I'm so excited for you to try it. Of course, you could go to a vet who will most likely prescribe medications that your dog doesn't want to take. And you could spend hours each month trying to fight your dog to take these medications, or trying to disguise their medicines by stuffing them in treats, spending a fortune as you do it. Or you could put your hopes in a raw food diet, even though you now know they don't contain a mix of foods that support the growth of all 5 types of bacteria your dog's gut needs. Or you could throw money away on overpriced dog foods and ineffective supplements that perhaps have probiotics, but none of those other bacteria types. But let's be serious, they will never be the cure-all you're wishing for, because none of those solutions contains all 5 strains of bacteria that your dog needs. And that's why this breakthrough is so revolutionary, because it can totally reset your dog's health no matter how bad things are. And you'll notice results starting in a matter of days. So I want you to ask yourself, how much is it worth to give your dog the health and happiness they deserve? Freedom from stiff, painful joints, a shinier, fuller coat, no more allergies, and higher energy levels so that they can go for walks and play with you and your family. I know Max couldn't have waited one more day when I first got my hands on this formula. It was a nightmare to watch him suffer, and I felt so guilty for not being able to give him what he needed. I'll never forget that crippling feeling of dread when we didn't know how much longer he'd be with us, or if he was about to breathe his last breath and say goodbye. The pain was etched on his face, and it tore at my heartstrings each day. And my daughter felt it too. She was constantly worried about Max and struggled to come to terms with the idea that he might not be around much longer. In moments of quiet, my daughter would often cuddle Max, whispering words of love and encouragement to him. I could see the tears welling up in her eyes, a mix of fear and hope as she clung to the belief that he could still get better. That experience is why I am so driven to make this treatment something that any dog owner can afford, because no dog deserves to have to live without it. Now, in order to make this state-of-the-art formula affordable for most people, but also cover the ingredients cost and at least part of the research time that my team and I have invested, the retail value should be $175. Honestly, this is a steal considering what this life-changing solution can do. However, the driving force behind my mission has always been the belief that our dogs are more than just pets, they're family. And just as we want the best for our human family members, we want to ensure that our four-legged companions experience the longest, healthiest lives possible. We owe it to them for the unconditional love and loyalty they give us in return. That's why my ultimate goal has always been to share this life-changing solution with as many dog owners as possible. I want to empower others with the knowledge and tools they need to transform their dog's well-being, and in turn, strengthen the bond between them, which is why I decided to cut the middleman and instead of selling it in stores, make it available only on this website and pass the savings to you. This means you don't need to invest $175 today. You don't need to invest $150, $120, or even $100. All I want is to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep this site running for as long as possible. Now, there's one additional thing about this breakthrough that you need to know. It is important that you order the full quantity that you need right now, because this formula has been selling out very fast. People are thrilled to finally have such a powerful yet natural way to support their dog's digestion, joints, and health. And many are not only buying for themselves, but for their friends and family's dogs as well. Which makes sense, because all dogs, regardless of age or breed, need all 5 of these healthy bacteria strains in their diet to keep feeling strong, healthy, and energetic. And yet, if I run out, which is likely to happen very soon, it will take me at least 3 months to produce a new batch, because all of these ingredients are carefully selected and bought directly from the source. If you interrupt your dog's treatment because this treatment is no longer available for a while, the bad bacteria in their gut can kill off the healthy bacteria, which means you and your dog risk having to start again from scratch. So to make sure that you're not making your dog's health even worse, do not interrupt the treatment no matter what. Get the right amount of bottles today. I have tried to make this as accessible as I possibly could. After finding all the best sources for our ingredients and negotiating with the production facility and making sure I produce just enough to cover the costs, I have settled on a price that I believe is fair and accessible. That's why I am thrilled to bring you this health restoring formula at a price that will be worth it to you as well. Thanks to this, providing your dog with all 5 strains of these healthy bacteria types is possible without it costing you hundreds of dollars in overpriced dog food. And it could save you thousands of dollars on all the expensive tests and procedures that vets love to push on their patients. Now the cost of supporting your dog's digestion, joints, and vital organs can be as low as $1.50 a day, which is the cost I've been able to negotiate down and still bring you this product. 1 month of daily usage will cost you as low as $49 with our special discount on a 6-pack, which is what your dog will need if they're over 2 years old, have smelly stools, or are struggling with their mobility. Don't forget that if you want to support your dog's health and vitality and repopulate their digestive tract with these 5 crucial health boosting and life-changing bacteria strains, it's important for you to use a premium formula every single day. And frankly, to look at using it like you would if you were taking a daily multivitamin for yourself. Something that becomes a part of your dog's routine every single day. That's important because bad bacteria never take a day off. If your dog is still quite young and has lots of energy, then you can definitely go for the 1 or 3 pack. Unfortunately, it will cost you a bit more simply because I'm not able to get you the benefits of the bulk buy discount. But if you want to give your dog everything they need to live the longest possible life and to have peace of mind that their nutritional needs are covered, I will always recommend the 6-pack. In all of the documented cases of dogs using this treatment that I've now seen, I've never seen them able to overcome all the bad bacteria that have hijacked their gut in any treatment that is shorter than 3 months. And anyone who promises you that it will is either ill-informed or has ill intentions. But you can get started bringing your dog back to health today by ordering this premium formula, which I have made as easy as possible. This is an amazing opportunity, and I want you to know that you will not be charged anything other than the price you see when you click the purchase button. There are no hidden costs, no rebills, and you will not pay a single extra cent out of your bank account. When you click the package below, you will be taken to a 100% secure checkout page. After you fill in your information and place your order, your pack of this health restoring formula will be sent to you immediately. You'll also receive an email confirmation from me and information about how to get in touch with our support team if you have any questions or need help with your order. We are here for you 24/7. Don't forget, the only way you can get this formula is directly from this website right now. You won't find us on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, or anywhere else. And if anyone is promising you a lower price, they are definitely someone to be wary of. I know you've been with me this far because you're determined to help your dog have the longest, healthiest life possible. After sticking with me this far, it means you now know that by using these daily drops to help your dog develop these 5 crucial, health-boosting and life-changing bacteria strains, they will have much more energy. Their coat will be thick and shiny, and they'll be less anxious and aggressive. It also means better eating habits, less shedding, and increased mobility and joint health. Your dog's life will be filled with happiness and longevity, and they'll be able to be by your side for many, many years, providing comfort, joy, and love. So, click the option best suited for you below, and because I want to give you the best start possible, you will also get free shipping for these packages. That's an additional $9.95 you're saving right there. And that's not all, because the 3-bottle and 6-bottle packages also come with 2 bonus online guides worth $109 for free. The first guide is the Ageless Dog, tips and tricks that can add years to your dog's life without breaking the bank. In this incredible guide, you'll learn the #1 worst mistake dog owners make when it comes to helping their dog live a long and happy life. Hint, it's something you're doing every day thinking it's good for your dog. Why your dog's dental health is essential if you want them to live long. If their mouth looks like this, you're in big trouble. The 7 deadly ingredients that should never be added to dog food, even though they often are. How to know whether your vet is right or wrong. If they tell you this, take your business somewhere else immediately. And that's not all, because you'll also receive a second bonus guide. Brain building exercises for dogs. Enhance your dog's mental agility. In this book, which again is only available when you pick up the 3-bottle or 6-bottle package today, you'll learn 3 simple scent games to challenge your dog's brain and keep them alert and mentally agile well into their golden years. How to play red light, green light with your dog to rapidly train them to do exactly as you command with verbal cues. How to quickly improve your dog's balance and coordination with this simple balance beam game. An innocent mistake most people make that makes their dogs much more difficult to train and makes them dumber. And much, much more. I can't wait for you to read these amazing guides and learn all the insightful information they contain. You will gain access to them immediately once you place your order. This is how confident we are that you'll love what this treatment has in store for you and your dog. But you have to act right now. In fact, I'm so convinced about the effectiveness of this breakthrough that I will make this completely risk-free for you. That's why I've also included a 60-day money-back guarantee, because I know that this premium formula is going to be the best choice you've ever made for your dog's health. This formula is bulletproof, but if for any reason you're unhappy with your order, then it will cost you literally nothing. Just get in touch with our customer service team and tell them you're not fully convinced. Just send them back all the bottles, even if they're empty, and they will refund you every single cent. I am simply thrilled you are willing to give our solution an honest try. Just like the thousands of dogs of all breeds, ages, and sizes who have revolutionized their health and wellness thanks to this health-restoring grass and bacon trick. You've heard about some of the incredible results, and I can tell you, there's no better day to start this journey than today. The only regret you will have is that you didn't have this solution for your dog sooner. So choose the package right now and take your first step. I've given you the best combination possible so your dog can restore their gut with the healthiest, most essential healthy bacteria. The rest, it's up to you. I've made it as easy as possible to use this formula. Simply add a few drops to your dog's food with each meal. Thanks to the bacon flavoring, your dog will absolutely love it and not be able to get enough. In fact, it'll probably make their appetite stronger than ever. Now, all it takes is for you to order your package and start right away. This new combination of ingredients is selling out as we speak. Make sure you don't miss out, because you won't be able to find us anywhere else. Lock in the supply you need to make this change you've been waiting for. Make a smart choice for you and your dog right now. Safe in the knowledge you're not risking a single penny if you're not happy, because you're covered by our 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. This time, you really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I know the first step is the hardest, but just think how good it will feel in 3 months' time when your dog is relieved of their pain, happier, and more loving. Their teeth look healthier, their breath smells better, and their mobility has improved, just like when they were a puppy. Think about the strong and fulfilling bond you'll share with your dog, full of cherished memories, and the pride you'll feel knowing you're giving your pet the best life possible. You haven't stuck with me this far only to give up now. I believe you can do this, and you should believe in yourself too. Click below to choose the option that is right for you. Enter your payment details on our secure order form and place the order now. We'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. I can't wait for you to experience all the benefits that this premium probiotic blend has to offer. Still there? Great. I wanted to take a second and answer some of the most common questions I get asked, so you can feel 100% confident about your decision to order today. Can you tell me again exactly how this formula works? Our carefully crafted formula has been specifically designed to cater to the needs of all dogs, irrespective of their breed, age, or size. The key to its effectiveness lies in its incorporation of the 5 distinct strains of healthy bacteria that are essential for all dogs to truly flourish. These beneficial bacteria are not easily found elsewhere, and our formula provides the perfect source for your dog to receive the necessary support for optimal health. By introducing these vital bacteria into your dog's diet, you're unlocking the door to enhanced vitality and overall well-being. What happens after I click the button below? Once you choose the package below that is right for you, you'll be taken to our secure encrypted order form. From there, it takes just 60 seconds to enter your shipping information. And that's it. The guys in the warehouse will get your order sent out to your front door ASAP. We take online security very seriously and take many steps to protect your payment information so you can be sure that your details are completely safe. And you won't be enrolled in any automatic billing program or anything like that. What if it doesn't work for my dog? Every order of this premium formula comes with a full 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That means that if you aren't absolutely thrilled with the results, or you change your mind for any reason whatsoever, you can reach out to our friendly customer service team and we'll refund your investment promptly. Our customer service team is just an email or a phone call away, and you'll receive our contact information on the receipt of your order. So there's nothing to lose, and so much for your dog to gain. How long will this formula be available? Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that this offer will be available for much longer. The ingredients we use in this formula are extremely hard to make and very expensive for us to produce. And remember, there's a lot of science that goes into balancing those ingredients so that your dog gets just the right amount of each healthy bacteria in their guts. And given how quickly this premium formula is selling, I believe we will sell out very soon. Once we're sold out, I don't know how long it will be before we're back in stock. I would hate for you to come back to this webpage and not be able to get this formula for your lovely dog. So I highly recommend you order now while stock is available, especially since your order comes with a full 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee, which means there's zero risk for you. It's also why you should really stock up today by choosing the 6-bottle option below. All right, I want to try it. What should I do now? It's really easy. Just select your money-saving package below and you'll be taken to our secure order checkout page. Enter your shipping information and we'll immediately get to work shipping this premium formula right to your doorstep. This presentation is now ending, and I want to thank you for sticking with me all the way until the end. Go ahead and choose your package now. Give this health-restoring grass and bacon trick to your dog for at least 30 days, then reach out and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.